Welcome to Cat Mama Tarot. Today I'm doing a weekly reading for the week of April 6th through April 12th, 2026. And I'm doing things a little differently this week. I already shuffled and pulled all the cards for the reading, and I'm going to go ahead and walk you through everything. We're just going to kind of dive right in. I'm going to start with the underlying themes for the week, starting with the Creator, number 22, which is telling us that we are the creators of our life, right? We are the artists that have a blank canvas to paint, or sometimes we have an existing canvas with something on it and we're going to paint over it and create a whole new piece of art, right? But the point being that we are the creators of our lives. So you're being reminded of that, along with Eye of the Needle, number 17, intentionality, and the need to be intentional. The need to home in on what it is that you want to create, that you want to be creating, that you want your life to look like, that you want your life to feel like, and getting into the specifics and the details to the extent that you can, so that you really can approach the creation of your life and kind of your movement forward in the way that it's going to result in what it is that you ultimately want to create. The more specific you can get, the easier it is as a target for getting there. Reiterating this message, we have Lavender Weaver, which is number 20. And the other thing here with the Lavender card is a reminder to take time out, right? Find time for relaxation, for rest, for peace and quiet. All right, and then we've got three kind of sets of cards here that I'm going to walk through, starting with the vow. So getting clear on your intentions also means really homing in on what it is that you want to commit to, right? What is it that you want to create? By committing to creating it, it's going to give you a much better chance at actually achieving it. That means that you may have to cut some things out, right? We need to use discernment. What's working? What's not working? What do I want to carry forward with me into this next stage or phase or chapter of life? And what do we want to cut out? What's not really serving or working? And what's gonna support me getting to where I want to go, and what's gonna limit me or create obstacles? You may be feeling, or you may experience some confusion, like, what is it that I want? Do I want this? Do I want that cup? Do I want the other cup? Right? So if you're feeling a sense of confusion about what direction you want to move in, what it is that you want to create, you're really being encouraged to take time out, rest, meditate, create a quiet space for yourself where you're not getting caught up in your thoughts that might be kind of tangling things up into more confusion, right? Rather, you're creating the space to actually receive the guidance you need, the guidance that's going to support you in moving forward in the way that you want to move forward. You also might want to see what kind of supports you need in the material world, right? So that could be collaborators. Are there people that you could work with, that you could collaborate with to move towards what it is that you want? Is there a mentor, somebody who could provide specific guidance and support and help you develop the skills and knowledge that you need to create what you want? What kinds of supports might help you in this endeavor? What kinds of supports might help you bring your ideas to life? Because you are being encouraged to do so, right? And again, you don't want to get caught up in the old that ultimately creates obstacles towards your forward movement. The old thoughts, the old behaviors, the old relationships, the things that keep you spinning round and round, right? We don't want to be going round and round anymore. We want to be moving forward. So this is kind of hearkening back to the sword, where it's like, what needs to be cut out? What kinds of thoughts aren't supporting me? What kinds of relationships or people aren't supporting me? What kinds of behaviors or activities are not supporting me? What kinds of things are spinning me out versus helping me remain calm and receive the guidance I need to move forward? Patience is also called for here, right? When we trust in the guidance that we're receiving, right, we create that space to be able to receive the guidance that we need, to get the support that we need, then we can trust that things will happen when they are meant to happen, right? Without any pushing or wanting things to happen faster than they're going to happen. So I love that we have the Four of Swords here speaking to this rest. And then we have in our next set of cards, we start with the gestation period, right? And this gestation period, this time for rest, for peace, a quiet mind, that space, that meditative space, that leads us and prepares us to be able to have our preparations come to fruition. So we can cast that net, right? So we can start attracting into our lives what it is that we want in our lives. We're being called. We're being called to rise up and become kind of a new and improved version of ourselves. You 2.0 is calling, right? So you're being called to rise up to be an even more authentic version of yourself. And by doing so, it's going to help you move out of choppy waters, out of this round and round here, and into a place of more peace, more ease, more calm, and you see the sun around their head, more happiness. And, the birds to me are always connected to spirit and spiritual guidance. And there's a butterfly too, indicating a time of transformation. So I feel like you're going to transform, you're going to get into this place of more peace and more calm and more ease, and you're going to be more in alignment with spirit and more in alignment with your higher self. And here the Death card speaks to that transformation. There's the butterfly again. And I love, hadn't noticed this before, but I was just looking at this card and thinking about, like, she doesn't have any flesh, right, on a part of her body. She just has the ribs, kind of the structure, right? And then she has this beautiful garden inside. So when it feels like there's no skin there, right, when you don't have any kind of flesh to grab onto or, to kind of protect yourself, or, there's just something that feels like you're kind of missing something, it's really important to tend to your internal garden, right? To cultivate a garden within so you can kind of deal with whatever circumstances are outside of you, right? So when we allow ourselves to transform, right, end something, there's always a rebirth with the Death card. A rebirth is assured, right? So when you end one thing, it makes space for a new beginning, for a rebirth. And you're being encouraged to really embody the divine feminine as part of this process, to open to receive the guidance, right? To open to your intuitive powers, to your intuitive guidance, while also opening yourself to receive abundance and to really receive all that you want in life. As part of this process, you could also be undergoing some psychic development, right? Or maybe that's the direction that you're going in for some of you, right? Is that you're developing your psychic abilities. You're tuning in and tapping into that as part of where you're going. Others of you are being encouraged to really tune into your intuition, right? By embodying that divine feminine and opening yourself and creating that space, that quiet that we talked about, you're allowing for intuitive guidance to come through, which is your, psychic development. We all have the ability, we all have intuitive guidance. So it's really important to recognize that so that you can actually create the space and environment to be able to receive it and hear it and follow it. Again, I love how we've got the Six of Swords here, which is all about moving into a space of calm, right? Moving out of the choppy waters. And then our first card here is Makuna, which I know that's hard to read the actual word below that, but it says journey, right? So this is all about going through a transformation and embracing a time of transformation. And again, this card, Lion's Mane, says leadership, which is encouraging you to take the lead in your own life and recognize that you have the ability to do so, that you can lead your life and do so with compassion, with an open heart, and it'll really take you where you want to go. So in the past, you may have felt a sense of complacency, a sense of what's the point, a sense of so much has happened that I can't really fathom good things happening anymore because I keep dealing with these things that I don't want to deal with or that are disappointing to me. So what you're being asked to do here with the Four of Cups is to shift your attention away from the disappointments, away from the past, away from the things that didn't work out. Everything happens for a reason, right? When things don't work out, we're being redirected towards something that's better for us. So if you've had a lot of that, I understand. Believe me, I understand that can be really hard, and we can get into these spaces of kind of cynicism and what's the point, and this is the only thing that ever happens to me, right? But you can see that this little kitty here, by focusing on these three cups, this past disappointments, the kitty is missing this shiny gold goblet, which is an opportunity right behind them, right? It's right there, but they can't see it because they're focusing on the past disappointments. So you're being called to step into the present, to really shift your attention away from what's not working and towards what it is that you want. What is it that you want to devote yourself to? What is it that you want to commit to? What is it that you want to work towards, to build, to create in your life? And what's required to do so? The Eight of Pentacles is about putting in the time, energy, and resources towards building or creating something that you want in your life. And we've got the Hierophant here, reminding you that you have all the wisdom you need within you. And sometimes that wisdom is guiding you to seek support and guidance and information and knowledge outside of yourself. But that doesn't mean that you don't have wisdom within you, right? You've got that inner guidance that you can tap into to help support you and help you move in the direction of that which you want to create. Ooh, it's going to be a good week, I think. as you move forward, and this is kind of reminding me of the Seven of Cups, right? Sometimes things aren't clear, right? Life is a mystery. We don't always know everything. We don't always know which steps to take, how to move forward, what to do, where to go, right? So when you are experiencing moments or periods of like, I don't know what to do, this is like completely a mystery to me, just know that's okay. Life is a mystery, and it's meant to be kind of discovered and investigated, right? And so take the time that you need, give yourself quiet space and time, but also give the time you need to kind of explore different things. Because when you're going through a state of transition, there's a time when you're kind of in limbo, right? You're closing out the old, you're moving out of the old, and you're moving into the new. But it doesn't tend to happen right away. It's not like, oh, okay, that door's closed and bam, I'm in this new space, new world, right? You often have to kind of navigate the transition and spend some time between the two worlds, right? Spend time closing out the old as you're bringing in the new. Again, that harkens back to the divine timing card and kind of being patient and allowing yourself to go through the steps, go through the process. Trust the process. Trust yourself. And let go of the struggle, right? The more we can let go of the struggle, right, and help ourselves move into a place of calm and ease, the more things are going to happen more readily. Okay, the last thing I want to do, I forgot to mention some underlying tarot messages, just a little bit of caution about not getting too caught up in your head, overthinking, overanalyzing, getting into a fear space, anxiety, worry. Really, what the Nine of Cards, what the Nine of Swords advises is presence, right? If you find yourself starting to get fearful or worried or anxious, that's when you want to really focus on quieting your mind, creating that space, that going in, meditating, if that's something you do. But anything, could be exercising, something that's going to take you into your body and out of your head. Because Two of Swords is telling us that, there are going to be some unknowns here, right? And that means that when things are unknown, when you don't know which way to go, then it's not a time to move forward. It's a time to get quiet. It's a time to tune into the spiritual guidance, tune into your intuitive guidance. All right, and our final messages include Lion Spirit, be generous of spirit. So be generous with yourself and patience and gracious and compassionate with yourself. And also be generous with others. The more we can get into a space of a generous heart, the more we receive generosity from others, right? From ourselves and others. And that actually is very helpful in creating that space that enables forward movement. Because abundance is nigh, right? You have access to abundance. You just need to open yourself up to receive the abundance that is available to you. And step in to the truth of who you are. There is a portal here through your heart, right? So the more you can get into your heart and really show yourself that these are all hearts flying around. So get into your heart, show yourself love, show yourself compassion, embody that feminine, open yourself to receive, create that space for yourself, the more you can step into the truth of who you are. All right. The last thing I'm going to do here is I want to read this Makuna journey card, just a little part of it, because I thought it was helpful. And I thought you might find it helpful. So just the key words here for this card are state of transition, leaving behind what is familiar, moving toward the unknown, connection to a higher mind, trusting higher consciousness. I mean, is that what we've been talking about or what? And then the guidance here. You may be in a state of transition, about to leave familiar territory and initiate a new journey. Something in your gut is telling you it's time for a shift, to enter a new physical space and/or field of awareness. The powers of both Mercury and Uranus oftentimes appear as spontaneous opportunities out of the blue. This is the power of the higher mind magnetizing opportunities that match your spirit's frequency. Sorry, I'm not holding it in front of the camera. Don't resist the journey in the name of comfort. The overwhelming rush of emotions that rise before big opportunities is signaling opportunities for growth. While the waters might seem turbulent at times, the sea of opportunities ahead will be tranquil. I mean, I just love how this card is really just reiterating everything we've said here. Let go of whatever is holding you back, be it from the past or present, and hold your gaze steadily into your future self. So that just sums it up right there. All right, that is what I have for you. I hope you have a great week. I will once again be doing daily readings, shorter daily readings, Tuesday through Thursday, and then I'll be doing a weekend reading on Friday. So I hope you join me for one or more of those. I hope this was helpful. And once again, I hope you have a fabulous week. Take good care. Sending you lots of love. Until next time. Bye.